Yo, welcome to another beautiful day, another beautiful episode of the Bronze Room. You're being joined by myself, Chris, and my beautiful co-host, Joy. Say hello to the
Yay, I
beautiful
got the
people, Joy.
beautiful title. Hi, people. Hi, my beautiful people. I got to pay it forward. My co host showing me love today.
All day, all day.
That
That's what we do here. It's
is
been
what
only
we
a few
do.
days since our last episode, but we're back on schedule. Every Sunday you guys can expect us to drop something fresh for you guys out there, and something to ponder over the week before the next episode. So um, we are coming in live on September 11th, and on this day, today, we have the beautiful Miss Barbara Morrison. Um, we had the beautiful Miss Barbara Morrison commemorized at a festival where she was where a street down in Leimert Park was named after her.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah. And she has a performing arts center. Did you know that?
I
I
was
didn't
not
know
aware.
that down in Leimert Park. Yeah, the Barbara Morrison Performing Arts Center. So I think that's like where it kind of took place, or like they organized it from there.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
Were you
yeah.
able to go to that festival yesterday?
No, I wasn't. I wish I could have. I would have loved to, but I got to look through LJ's eyes
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
I know he went. He had his mom with her delicious pies.
Right, right, right. That's right. LJ, do you want to say a couple of words about the celebration yesterday?
For sure. What's up? What's up, y'all? Man, shout out to Barbara Morrison. Um, Yesterday was actually her 73rd birthday, and
Hmm.
they used that same day to name the street after her. It was a really big event. They had some jazz musicians that she had worked with in the past showing up. It was a jazz festival overall, and it was a really good showing. A lot of people showed up and showed out. One great thing about Barbara Morrison's that she's played with so many people. Like we talk about or we all know about like the 6 degrees of separation. She was like
Hmm.
one of those people that had been. She's like the Forrest Gump of like jazz music. She's like been with all of the greatest names. Dizzy Gillespie. She went on tour with Ray Charles. She sang on stage with Ella Fitzgerald,
Hey,
Louis Armstrong, just to name
Wow.
some of the few.
wow.
And she opened the Barbara Morrison Center in Leimert Park to be a place where people could get free singing lessons, where other jazz musicians could
Sweet.
perform and get exposure, right in the community. For those that don't know, Leimert Park is one of the like central black communities in South LA, Crenshaw.
Hmm.
So, her having that space really gave an opportunity for people to play jazz music and then to be a part of arts. She was helping people that was old, as old as her, and people that was younger than us. And yesterday it really showed because there was just like a vast amount of people that was there showing love, and it was just a great time, all in all. So shout out to Barbara Morrison. A lot of people miss her, and it was great be at that event because you got to really see, how influential she was on the time she was on this planet. So
Wow.
shout out
That's
to her.
beautiful. That's
Wow.
beautiful.
Yeah. That's amazing, LJ. And yeah, I was listening to some of her music and I was like, damn, she didn't influence some of these modern day rappers because I heard a little skadalalat doop boop. I heard a little bit of Young
Man,
Thug up in there.
all
I
of
was like, wait a
Atlanta is like
minute.
it's like Barbara Morrison is just like that.
Yeah,
No,
she's
it's not
very influential.
That's what's up.
facts. Facts.
That's very cool. Well, yeah. R.I.P. to the beautiful Miss Barbara Morrison. When do we
Yeah.
know when she died? When she passed away? I know it was earlier this year, but do we know
I
exactly
don't
when that
know.
was? Was it in April or May or
Yeah,
June?
yeah. She passed away. I want to say she passed away May 18th.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly. But
Do you know if this was already set to be? Was this already in process to commemorize her, or was it because she's passed away that they decided to
yeah,
do
it was because she had passed away.
it? You know?
Um, but another thing about Barbara Morrison, so she opened her place in 2009, and then in 2011 she opened up the California Jazz and Blues Museum, where you could go in and then see some of the historic like memorabilia from times of the past. And I think those two, I don't know what you call it, like those two things that she did, they were so influential in the jazz community that it was like an easy call for the city to just name the Barbara Morrison Square right in front of where her space is.
Wow, that's perfect. That's beautiful. Yeah. So not just with their music, but impacting the community as well, and helping other people. We don't always have that privilege. We don't have that generational wealth. So that's where you can offer that,
Facts.
indirectly.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, not for nothing, she really kept jazz alive in
Yeah.
LA.
Yeah.
She used to
Yeah.
do every week. She would perform at this place called Pips on La Brea, and she would do like a number every single time, and then she'd also have things going on at her place. So she was really influential and monumental in keeping jazz alive. If you just know, like right now in music, like jazz is not a thriving genre, but um, she definitely put in her work to make sure that it stayed alive. So
Yeah.
it was just great to see it, be a part of it. Um, you could tell that there are a lot of people that miss her. She was a hard ass worker.
Wow.
Man. I'm telling you, she had her legs amputated, and she was still pulling up to her own performance center, putting together events, and still singing like these type of shit.
Wow. Yeah. That's dedication. That's passion. That's passion for what no limits. Wow.
So yeah, shout out
Yeah,
to
I
her.
love that. Yeah, hopefully she gets memorialized in some of these murals around the city too.
Right?
You see Kobe
Yeah.
murals, and you see Tupac murals, and you see Nipsey murals and everything. Of
Yeah.
course, those are like very current figures in the public space or whatever, or they were before they died. But hopefully we can get a mural up for her too, because
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can see it coming, man, because they still
Yeah.
keep the building there. The California Jazz and Blues Museum's still up, and there's this great artist she's worked with. His name is Muhammad. He's done a lot of great pieces, oil paintings, and I wouldn't be surprised if he painted
Right.
on one of her monuments,
Yeah.
because he did a huge painting of her that they showed at the place, and it was just kind of like this big, wall piece. But I wouldn't be surprised if he eventually, put his hands on a mural.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we gotta memorialize and save these ancestors of ours close to heart. You know what I mean? Because we definitely got to shed light on all the ancestors. She is now among them.
Yes.
Down on us. So
Yeah.
Bro, Heaven right now, that music is slapping.
Okay.
What is?
The music in Heaven right now is slapping.
Oh yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Slapping, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
A feature with Barbara Morrison and Nipsey and Biggie and Tupac.
Right, and Prince. Oh my gosh.
Come on.
Matter
So
of fact,
many.
that's what Tupac talked about in that song, Thug's Paradise or Thug's Mansion. Ain't nowhere I'd rather.
Bro.
He talked about, I could picture. He saw it. He saw it before he went up
lady
there.
named Billie Holiday.
Right.
Hard.
Yeah.
Man,
that's dope.
That's happening.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Shout out to that too.
I want front row tickets too.
Okay.
That's an expensive ticket. You already know.
A very costly ticket. Yeah.
Ooh. Oh man, I can't wait.
Okay.
Speaking of our ancestors, we want to definitely pay tribute also to on this day, the Ethiopian calendar. Uh, this is the first day of the year for the Ethiopian
Yes,
calendar, which is 2015. This marks the beginning of 2015 for them in their calendar system, and yeah, that's big news because
yeah.
Ethiopia is one of it is the oldest independent nation in Africa on the African continent. So
That's beautiful.
that's
Yeah.
big. That's big.
And I think I'm not sure if it's the same. They said Ethiopian and Etrian. So I don't
Eritrea.
know if, yeah, Eritrean,
Mhm,
excuse me.
mhm.
Yeah, so I believe it's the new year for both.
Okay. All
I
right.
was like, wow. So
Yeah.
it's amazing that you say that. And I want to look into it more to find out why it is just 2015 for them,
Yeah, that is
especially
interesting.
considering that. Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody out there, if anybody in the blacksmith community knows that or can educate us a little bit more on that, you guys can always feel free to message us at the Bronze Room. That's at the underscore Bronze Room. You can hit us on IG, and that would be amazing for you guys to tap in with us. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, the Ethiopian nation is not only one of the oldest independent nation on the continent, but they are the oldest people that are still um, collectively in that part of the country or in that part of the continent without having
Mm,
moved or remigrated or whatever.
right.
Their history dates back as far as the first couple of centuries BC. Um, the first couple of texts of reference from the ancient Romans and Grecians uh, referred to them uh, in Herodotus, who was a he was a Greek um, scholar or
Hmm.
ancient philosopher, if you will.
Okay.
He was a
Hmm.
traveler. So when he would come to Africa and and um, and go back to his land with the stories of what he saw, he referenced the Ethiopian people with great reverence. He referenced
Wow.
them with great reverence, saying that they were beautiful, which they are.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
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 You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Right.
uh,
Right.
e- yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Ethiopia or Ethiopian was referred was a term they used to refer to the Ethiopians, of course, but also they used it kind of loosely for black nations overall or uh,
Hmm.
dark skinned people. That used to be a reference for just black people in general, Ethiopia. But it
Hmm.
was synonymous with beauty and darkness and power all in one.
Wow. Wow,
So
that's beautiful.
yeah,
Well, happy New Year to them and thank you for sharing that information. That's beautiful. Wow, that's a beautiful story. It actually says a lot about them celebrating their own New Year,
perfect.
not being colonized,
Yeah,
and a very much so graceful people. Yeah.
100%.
Wow.
And we were just talking about uh, us as a black community having our own shit. You know what I mean? So
Right.
what better example than these Ethiopians that not
Right.
only have their own nation, their own history that hasn't been destroyed or forgotten or anything, but they also
Right.
have their own calendar. You know what I mean? What's more independent than that?
Right.
We ain't even fucking with y'all system. We got our own shit over here.
We got
Uh,
our own.
own calendar. You know what I mean? So
Wow,
that's powerful.
right?
That's powerful. That's something
That
to admire
is. That is.
for real, for real.
Okay.
So,
We
but
over here.
and not to forget, um, but not this day and time also marks the what 20 was this the 21st anniversary of
Yes.
the attacks on 9/11 on 9/11
Can you
21.
believe that?
Yeah. And the country has never been the same.
Wow.
You know, as we can
Wow.
all tell when we at the airport, especially. Mm,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. You could take off the shoes and everything. I
right.
actually
You got
remember. I
you gotta
remember
be you
how it
gotta be
was.
extra. You know what I mean? You gotta be extra. You gotta dress with a little more concern when you go to the airport. You don't want people looking at your holy socks. You
Right. Okay.
know
Look,
what I mean?
definitely.
Gotta
I
have your
wear the
toes
slide
right.
sandals. I
You
wear the
gotta have your
sandals that
toes
you could
right. Right.
slide in, slide
Right.
out. Whoop
Right.
whoop.
Easy.
Sweatshirt already off.
Uh-huh.
I gotta dance for it.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely, it's crazy that that happened 21 years ago, but it's good that we, pay our respects. It was definitely a tragedy. I remember like going into the classroom, well, waking up, and, I was like in 11th grade, and waking up, and just, it was all over the news, going to school, and basically in all the periods, we just sat there in silence.
Hmm.
It's like, wow, I
Just in
can't believe.
silence? Were y'all listening to the radio or anything, or y'all was just
We
sitting there
did. We
the whole time?
listened to a little bit, but a lot of the teachers wanted to pay respects. Some people had family members that were there that lived in New York. So, and I think that that was like kind of groundbreaking for us, because I think I was telling you about this last time. We always hear about attacks in other places, but for an attack to be on our soil, we're so spoiled. You know what I'm saying? We have all these defenses. We're not ready for that. We're not ready to step out onto a landmine. We're not ready for an explosion. So that definitely hit home. I was like, please do not hit LAX because I
Um,
live right down the street.
for real, honestly.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
during yeah, yeah. Shit
yeah.
can get real fast.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
that was the start of a new era in terms of national security, and
yeah.
also it was the provocation to the Iraq War, which ultimately was an
Mm,
unjust war because
it was.
Iraq didn't have shit to do with none of that shit. We just saw that as an opportunity to go fuck up some shit over there.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that just sounds like y'all had a playground and y'all was just, that's a whole nother.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll talk about that another day. But
Yeah.
we finally got
Yeah.
our ass up out of there, or out of the Middle East just last year.
Yeah.
Just last year, before the 20th
Right.
anniversary of 9/11. Um,
Should have been minding our business.
right, a lot of money wasted over there, a lot of lives lost over there. I believe it was over 1 million people that were killed. Um, many of
It
many of
had to
them
be
still,
more than that.
yeah, oh,
They had a
definitely.
lot of whistleblowers, and a lot of whistleblowers were revealing things that were just, they couldn't take it anymore. I've seen some things too from some of these whistleblowers that I don't think some of these documentations might have been taken down, but they just showed them just open fire, just not even no reason to be under attack or anything, just children and women walking in the courtyards, you know what I mean? Just everyday life, and you just open fire. Um,
Yeah,
I just can't imagine that being over here. So I was shook. I didn't even want to go to school that day.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, a lot of the fallout came from that war.
yeah,
A journalist, an infamous journalist at this point, Julian Assange, was locked up over leaking information, or really video footage. I'm sure he's locked up
mm,
for other reasons as well, but video footage of
wow.
of one of our helicopters um, targeting a whole town unjustifiably, or not the whole town, but some people within one town who had nothing to do with anything.
It
Um,
shouldn't have been nobody. Yeah, like unless.
you know, so but to this day,
Wow.
he's locked up just for telling the truth, which is something that definitely needs to be spotlighted because
Yeah.
in a land where I believe, freedom of the press. I don't know which amendment that is, but freedom of the press is allowed to tell the public the truth about whatever the fuck. And this man is locked up.
Right.
He's been locked up for about 10 years now, and he's facing the death penalty for telling the truth.
What?
That's something that doesn't get talked about at
Are
all.
you serious?
Yeah. Meanwhile, the hypocrisy
Wow.
of it all, aside from the obvious, is that
Wow.
we condemn other nations, or at least Saudi Arabia, kind of, for killing that journalist last year, Jamal Khashoggi. I don't know if you ever heard about him, but
Mhm.
he was chopped up into. He was called to a meeting, killed, chopped up, placed in a garbage bag, and then carried out that building, um, and then disposed of, and we condemn them for that. But meanwhile,
Wow.
we got journalists locked up and facing the death penalty over here for the same shit. So
Wow. Well,
yeah,
thank you for highlighting that. That's something that people need to know, because here we are thinking it's just land of the free. You have people that are delivering the truth. This isn't even their personal opinions. This is what the reality is. How can we fix anything in the world if we don't acknowledge the truth first?
right.
So these people are courageous for doing what they do. They literally do put their lives on the line. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if I
Yeah.
could either, but we
Wow.
definitely need to be talking about this shit because a lot of stuff gets swept under the rug, just
Yeah.
swept under the rug, and then we continue
Yeah.
our lives like everything is a okay, but it's not. A lot of shit is fucked up, and if
Right.
you don't shed light on these atrocities now, when it's happening to you, nobody's gonna speak up for you. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. Very true. Wow. Yeah. That's very true. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah,
Wow.
that was a
Yeah.
little history on this day,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Very powerful day today.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
If you look in
Yeah.
history, most
Yeah.
days are, especially today though. So we salute
Yeah.
all those people that were killed. There were 2,996 people died on the 9/11 attack.
Wow.
Um, so we honor all those people that passed away
Yes, we do.
so suddenly and unexpectedly. Many of those were firefighters who were the first responders, and they died later from smoke inhalation or debris
Yeah.
falling on top of them, trying to save everybody. But um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, thank God for
Wow.
life because it is fragile,
Yeah.
it is fleeting. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely, Chris.
in other news, we have uh, somebody that many regard as the GOAT, greatest of all time in the hip hop community. Um, he not on my list of GOATs. I know that's a hot take.
Ooh, he said, I don't care what y'all say. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
out and say it.
I'm gonna have to just tell the truth. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He's not. Well, I can't say he's not on my list of goats. That's a misstatement. He's not my number one.
I got you. No, I understand. Mine too. Mine, I'm the same way. Yeah.
But yeah, he's in the news lately because um, he has a take on capitalism and the term capitalist. And Joy, maybe you can detail this story a little bit more than me.
Yeah. So, I looked at the interview. So earlier in the week, I saw, on a lot of the big media pages, the Jasmine brand, and I think it was even Baller Alert. They were just, people had mixed emotions about this interview that took place for basically the promotion and just discussing and decoding Jay-Z's verse on God Did on DJ Khaled's new album that just got released. He's on one of the songs. He's featured, and I think it's a pretty long verse. But he's discussing different things in that verse. So he's decoding it with the interviewer. And in one segment of it, he's decoding the portion of the verse where he talks about how he's created more black billionaires than the lottery has.
Okay.
And or even just in general, more billionaires, and then just speaking on them, speaking on Ye and speaking on Rihanna. And so he went on to basically say that he's tired of the trickology that basically these black millionaires or black billionaires get this label as being capitalist, or because, or made to feel guilty because they've achieved a certain level of wealth. And he was basically saying, I don't want to feel guilty about that anymore. Why should I take on that term of being called a capitalist? This is something that you guys have made up. And I guess there are people who feel like, well, you are capitalists. A lot of people mentioned, okay, well, your wife and you guys do these ads for the Tiffany diamonds, your investments in the the Basquiat art. That's really not for your people. That's really for your personal gain. So a lot of people feel like, okay, no, they're calling you a capitalist, whether you're black, you're white, whatever you are, that is what you are. You're a capitalist. There are some people that feel like that. But his position is, why should I feel bad about that? I did what it took. I sold my CDs out of the trunk. You know what I'm saying? I hustled to get myself to where I got to. And I should feel good about how I spend my bread at the end of the day, essentially, is what he was saying.
Exactly has a problem with him. Who's criticizing him for being a quote unquote capitalist?
I think it would probably be other wealthy people who are not black, is what my guess is when he says they. And I think it might be black people too.
Okay.
There
Yeah.
there were black people who said that they feel like him being the status that he's in and having acquired a certain amount of wealth, that there should be some contribution to the people.
Well, I mean, is that to say that that he has not, nor has he ever contributed to the community? He
He
hasn't.
has. He's a philanthropist, actually.
Right. So I don't understand
Yeah.
what the argument is.
That's what I said. And at first I was like, I got to see what this guy's talking about, because at first I was like kind of agreeing with people, but then I'm like, no, he really doesn't. Let me ask you, do you feel like as a black billionaire that do you feel like you would have an obligation to share your wealth with people that have struggled like you or that struggle like you?
When you say share, you talking about just straight up donating, or in what way?
Yeah, donating. I feel like, I don't know, because I guess you can still be a capitalist too and still share your wealth. Do you believe that?
Well, for one, I think we're all capitalists. We all operate and function within this system of capitalism. You know what I mean?
That's
Uh,
true, but it's
it,
people who really making their bread, and they not even really, you know what I mean?
I
Like
mean, we're all playing the same game.
opportunists.
We're all
Yeah,
playing the same game. He's just winning it. So are we mad that
yeah,
we're not winning, or are we just mad
I
about the whole system?
agree.
Because if we're mad about the system, then the criticism shouldn't be going to an individual in the system. It should be going towards them itself.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
You
And
know
if
what I
you're going
mean?
to say something about him being a capitalist, then you need to say it about other people
Yeah,
that aren't,
exactly, exactly.
So
I
yeah,
mean, we all operate within a capitalist system. If you have a problem with the capitalist system, which I have problems with the capitalist system.
I
You know what
do
I mean?
too.
But I'm
Yeah.
not in
I think,
any position to judge it with too much scrutiny. Although I do reach on that sometimes, because
yeah.
you know it's like, what do we say about what was that criticism that was being echoed during 2020 was like, white silence is violence. You know what I mean? It's like, you might not be the one committing racist acts, but you're complicit in it. I mean, if you're going to
Right.
be critical of capitalism, you're complicit with it if you are buying and selling within this capitalistic
You know what? That's very true.
system. So we're all a
That's
part of
very,
it. We're
very
all
true.
guilty. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's a codependency. Maybe not
Exactly.
a healthy one.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
But like, I'm just all about like, don't talk about it, be about it. You know what I mean? Like, if you really got a
Yeah.
problem with something, then I better not see you spending your money at any of these fucking stores that support the system that you're
Right.
criticizing.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I
And
mean?
I'd rather see somebody that looked like me doing it than
Exactly.
somebody else, you know. I didn't see anything wrong with what he said, but it seemed like a lot of people highlighted that and they disagreed with what he said in the interview about that. You know, and apparently there are people that maybe I'm thinking it's people that look like us that have, you know.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm shit.
Yeah.
If you can get your bread, man. On the other piece that you asked me, yeah, I mean, I think it is our responsibility here on the Bronze Room. We believe in unity. So yeah, if you
Yeah.
make, and yeah, you better believe some other people be making it too, not just a few. I'm talking about many. You know what I
Right.
mean? You can't just
Right.
have billions and not be. But this is what he's doing. This is what he's detailing, is that he's made other people billionaires in the process,
Right.
which is
Right.
what we should do. If you come across some money,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be the only one eating. Your family should be
Right.
eating. Your community should be eating. Your people should be eating. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, if I make it to billionaire status or millionaire status or 100,000aire status, best believe I'm going to
Right.
be bringing other people up with me. The best way to do that is to create a business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We talked about Black Wall Street before we went on air, and the Black
Right.
Wall Street was a ecosystem. It wasn't just this nigga over here making hella money, looking down. Nah, it was a
Right.
whole ecosystem and the whole city, the
Right.
whole town, um, that was self-sustained. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when you make it that big, the best way, in my opinion, outside of donating it, and really it might be worse than, it might be better than just donating your money, is to create a business and employ your people in that business.
Right.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? Employ your
Exactly.
people, because what we generally speaking, our community is suffering from a few things: black on black crime,
Right.
and just violence in general, uh, unemployment, and
Right.
and yeah, and education, and and,
Yeah.
and lack of education.
Mm-hmm.
We cure those three things, then we're making major strides in our success.
Yeah.
So employment, if we can start more black businesses, shit, let's have a black Apple out there. Let's have a black Microsoft. Let's, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
where all of our people are working there. You know what I mean? Where we can become CEOs,
Right.
CFOs, and fucking vice presidents, and you know what I mean. Even if managers and supervisors and shit, even if you just
Right.
an employee, but at least you're working for a company that's looking out for your community, legitimately looking
Exactly.
out for your community
Yeah.
through employment, through charity events, through keeping black dollars in the community. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's really
Exactly.
what it's about. You look at other community statistics; their money circulates within their community more than us. I
Right.
think I think the statistic is like white dollars circulate within their community for like 10 days or something like that before other people start to get in on it.
Wow.
Latino communities circulate with it like maybe for 5 to 7 days before it starts to bleed out into other people's pockets. Ours, 24 hours.
Right.
We take
Of
that. We
course.
take our paycheck and we
Yeah.
go right down to the Koreans. We go right to get your nails did and
Right.
all that shit and get the extensions put in your hair. We
Yeah.
go right down to Nike and
Right.
feed the white man. We go right down to to we're just in a
No,
rush
you're
to give other
absolutely
people
right.
our money
You know,
versus our own
Gucci and
community.
yeah, even just regular products like just like household, you know, we're going to Target and all those places, you know what I mean? And those places are selling our stuff on their shelves, you
Right.
know? So
So
yeah,
this
absolutely.
capitalist game is just that. It's a game, and we've been playing fucked up for a long time. You know, we ain't
We've
been
been playing
playing.
as the underdogs.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We just haven't been playing the game like we should be playing it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So if Jay-Z, um, I salute any, not salute, but I am glad to see any black person with wealth because I know
Me
that that
too.
is reversing this game or at least tilting the game in our favor somewhat. You know what I mean? Now, what I would like to see is these black millionaires. We got enough black millionaires and billionaires out here to pull some of that money together to uplift our community, and that's the one criticism I
Yeah.
have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I think that's what some people were kind of feeling and didn't know how to articulate it as such. But
okay,
that's what I think it is too. I think there is enough wealth to actually like level up the community. You
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? And across all 50 states, to be honest with you,
yeah.
I think
You know
it's
what I mean? And if
enough.
that's too difficult, shit, start in 2 states. You know what I mean? But we need to start
Right.
seeing something. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we're seeing like Tyler Perry Studios. He shit. From what I've heard, he employs a majority intentionally, majority black people.
That's
You know what I mean?
beautiful. That's
Which is beautiful.
wonderful.
Which is
Yeah.
beautiful.
That's a
But
change.
we
Yeah.
need more people to be on that tip, individually and collectively, to uplift us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the white man does that all day. I mean, most communities do that shit. You know,
Yeah.
I was watching a speech or a presentation by a lady named Barbara Sizemore, and she was talking about that very fact that like you go to the liquor store, you know what I'm saying, trying to get a job, you're not getting hired unless you look like them or unless
Oh
you're
yeah.
in the family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So other businesses and people, communities that have businesses operate with that as a principle. You know what I mean? We the only people that be in a rush to not only spend our dollars with other communities, but to bring other people into our success. We're in a
It's
rush to,
very true.
you know what I
It's
mean?
even with property, I've been to some properties and I'm like, even though this is in LA, there's only one type of ethnicity in this apartment building or in this property. I know that they're not going to rent to me. You know what I mean? So even that, when it comes to that,
Yeah,
providing that for your own, you know what I mean?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we
Totally
definitely.
agree.
Yeah, so I'm not mad about this capitalist Jay Z being a capitalist. Yeah, yeah, he's a capitalist, but within this capitalist game that we're in, we need that. We need
We
more
do. We need
more.
somebody to play that. Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
all for it. I'm all for it. All for it.
Yeah. I agree.
Um, but what's a couple of his verses that he was talking about? He was saying that this is a throwback, but he was like, "I'm out for presidents to represent me." You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we got a bunch of dead white men on our money, which is a problem in itself because you
Right.
know you kind of you start to it's a psychological thing. You know what
It
I mean? Like you
is.
start to pray them, but like, hey, shit, if you can make these dead presidents work for you, then they make it work. You know what I mean?
Right.
As long as it's trickling back down into your community. That's just
Right.
my biggest
Right.
criticism. He also had one where he's like, "I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman."
Yeah.
You
I
know,
like that.
I like that too.
Yeah.
He's all about
Yeah.
this. He's all about pimping this system. So go ahead, bro. Do that
Yeah.
shit. Set an
Yeah.
example
And
for
he
us.
showed that he knows how to do it. Like this isn't something that's just happened. A lot of people see Hove, but he's evolved so much. You
Yeah,
know what I
definitely.
mean? I've seen his evolution. So when I see where he's at now, it wasn't an overnight success. This literally happened over 20 years.
Yeah, I would say 30. He started in like 90.
Yeah.
I think Unreasonable Doubt came out in like 95 or something like that, maybe 97.
Yeah.
Um, but that was what 05, 15. So it's about 17 years ago, 16, 17 years ago, almost. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, 27 years ago.
Okay. Because 90s. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's yeah, so it wasn't overnight for him. He
no,
had
not
to
at
do
all.
what he yeah. Um
Not at all.
Okay, Jay. Yeah, I agree with what he said too. When I looked at it, I was like, some of y'all was just born yesterday.
Right.
And y'all
You
just
know,
want to
and
be mad.
right. And I imagine a lot of this, the commentary is coming from the newer generation because
Hmm.
when you look at Gen Z and even some millennials or a lot of millennials, we are more critical of capitalism and more welcoming of a socialist agenda, which I could say I'm probably on board for. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Socialism is essentially just um, spreading the wealth across
Hmm.
the entire population rather than the capitalistic uh, method of if you can get it. It's more individualistic. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
all the wealth for just a few people versus all the wealth dispersed across the community. So I picture that that's where a lot of the criticism is coming from is the younger
Yeah.
generation kind of like, hey, you know, we see the inequality that is bred within capitalism. So they're in a desperate search for something else that's going to work for more people,
Yeah.
which I'm for. I'm for that. I'm for that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
until that system comes, shit, I'm for black capitalism.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I mean, because no matter what, it's better than us not having anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, 100,
yeah.
100%. So, um, that brings us to the next segment. Um, this is a fun segment that we've modified over time. It used to be punch, brunch, or duck, but we're gonna leave it at punch or brunch. Okay, punch or brunch. You now we put Kanye in. I don't know if we should have him in there because it makes it very easy what decisions what we're gonna decide. So I'm gonna say you have to choose in this segment of punch or brunch whether to have brunch with one of these people or to punch one of them. You know, you have to pick one of them to have brunch with, and the other one by default you're gonna have to fight. So,
Oh
and
God.
vice versa. So, Joy, punch or brunch, Queen Elizabeth or or George W. Bush. Now you got to
Hmm.
remember, Queen Elizabeth was responsible for the colonization of a lot of African nations, a lot of Asian nations, a lot of Caribbean nations. You know, you got to keep that in mind. But George W. Bush, as we just stated earlier in the podcast, was responsible for starting the Iraq War and
Yeah.
Afghanistan War, which ultimately killed more than a million people.
Yeah.
Who you going to brunch with? Who you punching?
It's still easy.
Okay.
So I'm gonna punch that hoe, a lizard bitch.
Okay.
I'm punching that bitch, and I'm gonna take him to brunch, but I'm gonna
Okay.
poison his brunch.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna poison his mimosa, so he get
Oh wow.
brunch. He get brunch with a razzle dazzle.
Okay. Okay.
Because she's definitely destroyed way more lives. I feel like had she not set the blueprint for this, that it's just so many terrible things. I feel like he's just one of many puppets. But yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
we punching that hoe and
Knock her
we
out.
brunching and poisoning him. Mhm.
Okay. All right. All right. Cool. I hear you. I hear you on that. Me personally, me myself personally, I'm gonna have to take. I'm gonna have to take her out to brunch. I'm gonna have
What?
and I'm punching and stomping the fuck out of George Bush.
When that
Getting
way?
stomped out for sure.
I feel like she needs to be crip walked on.
Well, let me try to justify my answer. Now, George Bush, like I said, was responsible for killing a million people. This isn't even taking into account the number of U.S. soldiers that died while fighting over there.
Right.
He killed a lot of innocent people, right? He didn't send FEMA over to Katrina for what, like 2 weeks or something like that.
Right. I felt like it was longer than that. It was 2
It probably
weeks.
was. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah.
Let's not forget about what he's done to people over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just it's personal for me. Like Queen Elizabeth fucked up a lot of shit around the world. There's no excusing that, not at all. But as far as my people in this country, George Bush has done more harm to us than she ever had.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying, because even as foundational Black Americans, like what we've had to see during our era, like we lived through this. You've seen how this man operated, what he did, the decisions that he made. We got to see that and be conscious of it. So I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I wasn't around in the mid 1800s when that vampire bitch was doing shit.
Yeah, man. George Bush was just terrible. Not to mention that, like, he was undeserving, and most presidents are, but like he especially was undeserving to be in that position of power to begin with. This motherfucker was a coke addict, or you know what I mean, when he was president. Yeah, he was known for being for fucking powder in his nose on a regular basis.
I mean, I'm not surprised though.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody would be. Like, this man was repulsive. You know what I mean? Like, he was an ex-cocaine fiend. He was let's contrast it with the fact that many of our people have been locked up for the same shit that he was indulging in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Our community has been ravaged by drug use at the hands of people in power who deemed it criminal.
Right.
But yet this man is, and I think it wasn't a secret. Like, I think he himself admitted it in some interview or whatever.
What?
But he graduated from, I think, Harvard, but like he was like a C- student. You know what I mean? Like,
they probably paid for his grades.
Well, yeah, exactly, and that's my points. Everything that he's gotten, his dad was the president 2 terms before him. You know what I mean? So everything that he's gotten was he's lived a privileged life.
Right. They gave a cokehead. A cokehead was a president.
Right. You know what I mean?
That when you think about it,
he wasn't a smart man at all.
He didn't seem like it.
Nah, he wasn't.
Did you see the video where I think it was an Iraqi man who threw the shoes at him? Yeah. It was a viral video.
Yeah, that he missed him. He threw 2.
A lot of people
too.
And they was at a good velocity too. I was like, if that had it, like the velocity was.
He was practicing that shit for weeks.
Right. Like, I was like, oh wow, that would have been a good hit. And then I remember. And then that viral moment, which I will never forget, and it's so funny to this day. That day that Kanye, you remember Kanye?
Yeah.
George
That's
Bush
when I first got on Team Kanye. I remember that.
I have been on Team Kanye, but I was just like, he's bold. He's bold. Oh my God. Tupac was another one who was bold like that in interviews. Oh, yeah. But when Kanye did that, even what's his name, who was doing the MTV
Mike
interview,
Myers.
he
was like, whoa.
He was looking so shook. I said, thank you, Kanye. Yeah. Thank you. I love that he said that, because that was revolutionary. Mm-hmm. And it spoke for so many people. The way you feel, yep. If he had to choose punch or brunch, I'm sure he would have punched him too.
Yeah. And let's not forget, I love this quote. LJ, I'm gonna need you to play this. It just puts a highlight on how stupid this man was. Like, he wasn't even smart. He didn't deserve to. Like, but I don't fuck with the whole Republican Democrat shit. You know what I mean?
Me neither.
You know what I mean? I hate both.
Me too.
The Republicans seem to like glamorize stupid presidents. You know what I mean? Trump was a dumbass. He was a dumb. He was a dumbass.
It was a joke. I
He-
felt like we was on reality TV.
well, I mean, and
Well, we still are.
Well, I mean, that this is a product. He was a product of our culture. We are a reality TV culture.
Right.
So this was expected. We elected a reality TV star. He was a star on the
Slash cokehead.
and we chose that man to lead our country. So what we
well, you and I didn't choose that. They did.
Right. But what our culture feeds into will become us.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the environment that you create is going to be what you internalize. And so we've created this glamorization of reality stars, reality TV and shit, and that's what we got to lead our country for 4 years.
It's disgusting.
And possibly
pure idiocracy.
In 2 years from now, he might be the president again. We don't
Please
know.
don't do that, okay?
I'm just getting y'all ready for what might be the reality.
Right. Yeah. That's scary that could be, right?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Very much so. So LJ, I got this clip queued up if you want to bring it to the main screen so that we can just walk down memory lane and look at how stupid our president was at one point in time.
That was your president.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, "Fool me once, shame on you. You fool me, you can't get fooled again."
Wait, what?
You don't remember that?
No.
You never heard that? J. Cole put like one of his songs
no.
A few years ago, a single. But everybody knows that saying. Like,
how did you fuck that up?
Right. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame
on me.
Right. He couldn't even figure that shit out. And we had that man leading us for not one term, but 2 terms.
You can't even say that. You for damn sure wasn't making no responsible executive decisions.
Right.
Yeah, that's a sniffing powder type comment.
You think he just got back from got up on the podium in the back room and was...
He did. It was still some specks on his nose hairs. Come on. Wow. Yeah, I get it now. That's a good justification. You had a whole video for the reason why you
just one of many.
I get it. Yeah.
But yeah, Queen Elizabeth, I might have to poison her shit too. You're right.
Yeah, she gonna need the kiss of death through that oatmeal. Oh well, she's already had it.
But yeah, that was a good punch and brunch segment.
Yeah, that was.
Joe, I know you want to talk about some of this heat that we've been experiencing.
Oh my God, yeah. Let me tell you, because I ain't got no AC no more.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So y'all, I don't know if y'all know. For those of y'all who live in LA, it's been unusually hot. We've had temperatures of 90 to 110 degrees. This is some AZ type weather. On top of that, we've had rain, high humidity. So I just wanted to bring this awareness. I'm big on health, and you guys will know that as we go along. I'm always big on emergency preparedness as well. So just when we're experiencing these temperatures, because it's so unusual for us, I just want to remind us to stay hydrated. Drink your water, drink your spring water, eat your fruit, your pineapple, your watermelon, your cucumbers. All of those hold a lot of water. I just want to remind you of that because a lot of times people tell us to drink water, but water is not the only source of hydration. It's also fruit. If you can drink water from a fresh coconut, that's even better. Make sure that you, for those of you who cook easily and don't have that melanin to support, or if you have hyperpigmentation like me, put your sunscreen on. And
hyperpigmentation. Now, I've never heard of that term before. What is hyperpigmentation?
Oh yeah. So some people, when they scar, they get the dark marks. For me, I've had acne. I've had like I get hormonal acne, and if I like pick it or touch it, it tends to leave a dark spot. Sometimes
Oh
you'll see
no.
people with dark spots, or sometimes people get what's called sunspots on their face, like darker patches on their skin or their body, or like concentrated area of freckles. So that's hyperpigmentation when the skin darkens from like scarring. And typically, what makes the scars darker is the sun. And I
Mhm.
think because the melanin probably concentrates right there for healing, is what I'm thinking. So, yeah, so those are things that happen in the sun. So, it's always good to wear sunscreen, which I found out is just basically a synthetic form of melanin to
Mhm.
trick the UV rays from darkening you. But yeah, staying hydrated. I actually passed out from the heat before, so that's why I
Yeah,
emphasize on it. Passed out,
that's fair.
turned green, hit my head on the counter, and had
What?
to go to the yeah. Actually, the ambulance came to me. Now, when I think about it, they came to check on my head. I made it through, but I say that because it's been unusually hot, and a lot of people don't know how to really deal with it. Not enough people are hydrated enough for it.
Yeah.
They smoking black and milds and drinking henny in 110-degree weather.
Yeah. Right. 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 Um, looking at the weather report for this week, I was trying to give us a projection of what to expect. It's going to be in the high 80s for the most part, mid to high 80s
Okay.
this
Oh,
week, which
okay.
is a relief from what
That's
we've been
cute.
experiencing. But this just in, if you look at your weather app right now, there's a flash flood warning across LA.
What?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what that's all about, but I'll read the thing. It says
Not it
flash.
being tropical.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on. It says flash flood warning from Sunday at 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. Avoid avoid the subject
What?
event as per the instructions. Affected area: LA County. Description: the National Weather Service in Los Angeles and Oxnard has issued a flash flood warning for East Central Los Angeles County and
Mm.
Southwestern California, of course. Um,
Wow.
the Doppler radar and automated rain gauges indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain across the warned area. The expected rainfall is 1 to 2 inches per hour. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
So be
wow.
careful out there if you guys are near any rivers, which I am. I'm right by a river. you know,
Really?
be careful. Yeah, yeah, I
Oh
am.
man, that's crazy. Okay, I'm over here on the west side, but
Yeah,
sheesh. It's been some tropical type weather over here. It's been real humid.
yeah. It's been some weird weather in general across LA, or across the nation, I guess. Really, like,
Yeah, I was gonna say that
um,
too. We
you
were
know,
just talking about that climate change. It's
yeah,
happening.
yeah, yeah,
It's
it's happening.
happening.
It's happening fast. Now,
Yeah.
I'll put on my conspiracy theorist hat real quick. Um, but this has been substantiated. There are weather changing machines apparently
Oh yeah, harp.
that we know. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if that's a thing that exists, then what's to say that our weather isn't being manipulated intentionally by whoever
Mhm.
has these weather affecting machines? You know what I
Oh,
mean?
it is absolutely.
Weather
Yeah.
affecting technology. Cloud
Yeah.
seeding. Cloud seeding is a thing, right? Where they can go up
Yes.
and seed clouds in given areas to produce rain. But if they
Yes.
got that technology, who's to say they don't have a hurricane creating machine or a thunderstorm creating machine or
Right.
whatever? You know what I mean? Like,
Or even provoking winds, because all that
yeah,
is certain charges of atoms, you know what I
yeah,
mean? That's literally that's alchemy. And they were already, and I know this for a fact because there's a Project HARP, they have this organization where they, yeah, and it's actually actually a government type entity, and they've admitted to, they are specifically made for manipulating and changing the weather. So they do, when there's hot days, sometimes you'll notice that the clouds will come in and block. They're not like the regular puffy clouds, but they're clouds that'll get streamed by drones. Those are some of those clouds, and they do it to decrease the heat whenever it's really, really hot. So I
Oh,
think
really?
even that's where some of our rain has resulted from.
And that's called
Um,
HARP,
HARP,
HARP.
HAARP. They also create miniature black holes. Scientists have been creating miniature black holes so that they can learn how to go through certain portals in the atmosphere. And they supposedly use synthetic melanin for it, but you can't synthesize no damn melanin.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
this technology shit is scary. You know what I mean?
it
'Cause,
is.
if it gets into the hands of the wrong people, that could mean bad things for a lot of people. You
I
know what I
mean, I
mean?
think it's already in the hands of bad people. I
Oh yeah,
always
for
got my
sure.
conspiracy
Oh yeah, one
hat
hundred
on,
percent. Look no further than the examples that have already taken place over history. Look at the atom bomb. Look at the experiments that they were doing to the Jews in Germany and during
Yeah.
World War II. Think about the Think about the experiments that they were doing in Operation COINTELPRO, where they no, that's the wrong one. Sorry, I think it was Operation Moonlight or Midnight or something like that, where
Hmm.
they were taking people in San Francisco and other places around the nation and drugging them to see like the effects of PCP or what's the hallucinogen,
They
acid,
did it with LSD too.
LSD.
Yeah, acid, and put them in sleep deprivation rooms.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, so
Yeah.
like and that's a
Crazy.
form of tech. It's not technology, but it's a form of science. Science is generally what we're
Yeah.
talking
And
about, right?
biochemical weaponry. Yeah. Using
Right.
science as that. Yeah. Totally
Yeah.
agreed. Yeah.
So
Wow.
when that gets into the hands of the wrong people, people are going to be harmed, and
Yeah.
you know, yeah,
Just if y'all gonna
year,
make it rain some food. What's
right?
that?
You know what I mean?
With the cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
Yeah, right, right. Right. But yeah, that wraps up that segment. Joy, you got a vibe of the week. You know what? Matter of fact, let's pivot real quick, right
Okay,
back to what we were
let's
supposed to
pivot
touch
back.
on. You want to talk about inviting others to the barbecue, to the cookout.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
go ahead. I'm curious to hear what your take on this is.
No, because you know what? I have noticed it a lot with the rise of social media. A lot of people, I'll say it, it's unpopular, but I'll say it, a lot of people blackfishing and everything like that. But the
Blackfishing.
other,
Blackfishing. I'm not sure
okay. Yeah, so blackfishing is basically, I would say, the cultural appropriation, not just that, but actually taking, mimicking the visual image of people of color, tanning the skin, wearing certain things like, if you're a white girl wearing the big hoop earrings that say queen in them, getting the damn what they called a Bo Derricks. No, bitch. We was doing that back in Africa, and we was doing that in slavery days as
a bow
maps.
a bow Derek. What is that?
You heard of those? You remember that white bitch Bo Derrick? And she used to wear the French braids. And
No.
they used to call, and she used to wear cornrows, and I think she even had little beads at the end. And they would call that hairstyle like the little Bo Derek hairstyle.
And that was her name
And
was Bo Derek.
yeah, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna find this white bitch. She was supposed to be cute. I think it's BO, and then I think her. You know what?
Yeah, I'm looking at her
I'm a,
right now.
yeah, yeah. Kim Kardashian kind of embodied her. Go figure in a shoot before, but going back to that, you know, you have these women who know how to pull off this look of being racially ambiguous. And then on top of that, you have spouses who are maybe married to a Black person, and maybe they have family, or you have these new age rappers who are hip hop artists, but they're not necessarily Black. And I feel like people are just inviting these people to the cookout just because they know how to appropriate the culture, or they might say something. Listen, even if you say, I believe that all Black people should be free and I'm going to fight for your reparations, bitch, you're still not invited to the cookout,
So
in my
this is
opinion.
the figurative cookout. Or are we talking about the literal cookout as well?
I'm talking about both of them, but I'm really talking about the figurative
The
one. But
figurative.
you ain't even invited to that. Keep it pushing, Becky.
So to be an ally is one thing, but to become now.
I don't believe in white
So
ally. I
do
don't
we
believe in any other kind of ally.
any
Just because
other
I
type of
know,
ally? I don't understand.
yeah. So, I feel like if we ever want to make a change in our community, do believe in the. I appreciate that there are other people who want to help, but I think in order to see the change that we want to see, it has to be us.
Oh yeah,
Because once other people have an input on how they can assist in that, they also want to assist in your new way of living. Nah, this door is closed. I know which way. We've been listening to you for a long time. I know what the blood in my body is telling me what I want to do. So that's why I don't feel like they should be invited. They had people infiltrating in the COINTELPRO. You were just
right.
talking about that. The Black Panther Party, part of the dismemberment had to do a lot with them being infiltrated
That's
and
true.
letters
But
being
you also
written.
have to shed light on the fact that it was a brother that led to the demise of Fred Hampton.
Was it? Or
Yeah,
was it the FBI?
yeah, but they used brother.
Because I believe that there were. I mean, yeah. Okay, so then maybe some Black people shouldn't be invited to the
Well, I
cookout
mean, you're right
either.
about that. To be honest, we just have to moving forward. We gotta be able to discern, enemies from allies, from our own people. You know what I
So
mean? From within our own people.
do you think a others
Just
should be
because you're
invited to the
because
cookout?
what's that saying? Just because they your kinfolk don't mean. I'm sorry. Just because they your skinfolk don't mean that
Don't mean
they
ain't
your
okay.
kinfolk. So
Yeah.
so we have to keep that in mind. Nipsey
Yeah.
shot down by a brother. Tupac shot down by a brother.
Yeah.
So like we have within our own ranks a lot of issues that we need to vet out and sift out. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm with you in the stance of, yeah, we can't allow other people to come in and hijack the movement because
Yeah, because they
that's
already saying nigga every day. So I'll be hearing the word sometimes and I turn around and I'm like, well, where the nigga at? Because,
right, right, right,
huh?
right. And that's an age old tale of our talent, our cultural influence, our music, our clothing, our culture being appropriated. So that is
Yeah.
something that I think moving forward we have to be very careful of preventing, because when you do have allies from outside the community come in and try to assist, it's been done before where they end up not only assisting but taking over the shit. So
Yeah.
yeah, and that's something that you don't see in other communities. You know what I mean? It only happens in
Right.
our community.
People want
So
to own us.
right. So, but I
Yeah.
mean, it only makes sense because we are that nigga. You know what I
We're the
mean?
best.
Like so. Yeah, nobody else is going into the white community and hijacking that shit because nobody really um, idolizes
That's
any of their
true.
culture like that. People aren't
Right.
doing that in
That's
the
true.
in the other communities because their cultures aren't idolized like the black community
Right.
because we are
Right.
that nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
so
We got the
accordingly,
juice.
it just like with great power comes great responsibility. We have
Yeah.
greatness within us, and it comes with the responsibility of protecting that greatness from being
Yeah.
infiltrated and hijacked. It just
Yeah.
is.
You know
So
what? That's
we
such
each
a
bear that
good point, Chris. That's such a good point. We have that great power, and it comes with great responsibility. And I think that that's something we need to really. That's such a simple thing that you said, but it's something that we really need to acknowledge. You
Yeah,
know?
I mean, and I
Yeah.
think we're kind into a we're kind of difficult position because this is not our land. This is our land, but it's not our. This isn't our society. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? We've been very much so ostracized in a lot of
Mm-hmm.
throughout history. We've been
Mm-hmm.
like we've been very clearly pushed to the side. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And so, in order to get ahead, a lot of us feel like we're in the position that we have to try to assimilate
Mm-hmm.
into the mainstream culture. And when we
Mm-hmm.
do that, we make friends, we make relationships, which is great, but though making those relationships comes at a cost. At
Mm-hmm.
the cost
Mm-hmm.
of we want to be a part of the mainstream so bad that we're willing to give away some of our identity.
I was just about to say that and lose that authenticity and even share that authenticity and let it be watered down.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
we're in a tough
Wow.
position because like our back is
Yeah.
against the wall in so many
Yeah.
ways. So we're willing to kind of give up some of our identity or share it with other people who might not have our best interests in mind. You know what I mean? And so it's just
Yeah.
it's a tough predicament that we're in. But yeah,
Yeah.
all in all, we need to do a better job in just protecting that identity and not
Yeah.
holding it more sacred than we do, for
I
sure,
agree.
and not
I
letting people
agree.
feel so comfortable hijacking it.
Yeah, like bitch, don't even step up to my gate.
Right.
Don't even step up to my gate. I don't care if you made potato salad. I really don't want it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. I've always been like that. You know, a lot of the people I'm close with, they laugh because they're like, you're just so like like you've never had a friend of a, you know, you don't have friends of other races. And I'm like, I do, but they know how authentic I am and in who I am.
Right.
They just don't even cross that line with me because
You
they
make
know
sure.
how I feel about it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? They know they can't come to the cookout and they like, listen, you're not coming. We
I'll
can
tell
live
you all
our
of this
life.
and take pictures and show
Right, you
you
know,
how great it
I'll chill
was.
with
But
you at
no, you
Laguna
can't come.
Beach, but you can't come with me. I'll be here. You know what I'm saying? You can't
Yeah,
come
I
with
feel
me. You know, when I go to Leimert Park, I like to see people who, you know what I'm saying? I done seen a couple of the snow bunnies up there. And again, you know, they got their Kylie Jenner outfits on. No, this ain't, it's more than that. You know? So yeah, like you said, preserving and protecting our cultural identity.
yeah,
Um,
1,000%. One
yeah,
thousand
by
percent.
keeping the invite exclusive
Yeah. Right.
and inclusive.
Right. All in one. Exclusive and inclusive all in one.
Yeah.
So so that brings us to our vibe of the week. Joy, do you have a vibe of the week? I got mine. Let me start with mine.
Yeah, you start with yours.
Yeah. So my vibe of the week is a coworker of mine like shared this app with me that I've been using ever since. It's called Yucca or Yuka.
Mm.
It's essentially an app that allows you to scan any barcode that you come across that's a food product, and it outlines all the different additives, all the different ingredients that can cause you harm. So, I scanned a Red
Wow.
Bull the other day, and it gives it a rating out of 100.
Wow.
So you know exactly what you're drinking. A lot of times, you try your best to read the ingredients on the back of the package, but you don't know what half those shits mean because there's scientific jargon.
Right.
But this app breaks it down. So I scanned, for instance, a Red Bull can, and it got a score of 24 out of 100. Um, the biggest thing that was was an issue with the drink was the caloric value. It has 110 calories according to the app. It has 27 grams of sugar, and it tells you like, okay, if it's a good range, a moderate range, or a bad range. And according to this app, in calories and sugar, those are terrible in the range. Uh,
Wow.
and so it also breaks down the additives. According to this, there's one additive in particular that has a limited risk, and it says artificial flavoring copies a natural taste or creates a new taste that does not exist in nature. So it just tells you, like, hey, this is what you put in your body, some shit that does not
Wow.
exist in nature. Other things that it'll pop up are like citric acid, and it'll break that
Wait,
down.
that I heard that's another one. Citric acid is another bad ingredient that I never knew about that you see in a lot of things.
It says it slows down the oxidation reaction of food. But it says
Wow.
that has little risk, or it says no risk on this app, according to it. It also says that sodium bicarbonate is an additive that's in there. It says anti-caking agent. It ensures the fluidity of powdered product by limiting the agglutination of the particles. I don't know what that means,
What?
but this app just breaks down all the different things that you have
Yeah.
whenever you're eating, so that you can make a more conscious decision about what you're composing your diet with.
Wow. Okay, I might have to download that. It's called Yucca.
Yucca, Yuka.
Yuka. Okay, I'm scared. I'm gonna have to stick my finger down my throat after finding out everything. Wow. Okay, that's definitely a vibe.
Yeah, and I'm
I
looking at it. It also does. I don't ever remember scanning this product, but it's on my history, and it looks like a
don't lie, Chris. Don't play us.
right. No, it looks like it looks like somebody must have been using my phone. It looks like a makeup product or something like that. So I think you're able to scan anything, and it'll tell you that the health
What?
risks, shampoos, soaps. So yeah,
Wow.
y'all get that app
That-
out there, because
yeah, that's actually
it's a
very
game changer.
revolutionary.
It's a game changer
Yeah.
for sure. I've been using this
That's a
all
way
week.
to take control of your life and be
Right?
mindful. And, using that app, it actually helps you become mindful on your own. So let's say you just don't have it handy with you for whatever reason, you'll still actually want to go and by habit see, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And you'll already be familiar after using the app. Okay, over here
yeah.
instilling
Now it
good
already
habits
made
into
me.
us.
I had it in the grocery store the other day, and I was trying to decide between two products. I'm hella indecisive, so I was like, man, let me take out the app and see whichever one gets the better score is the one I'm gonna buy. So I did that with
Oh.
between some little sweet snacks I was choosing between.
But he don't want to say
They,
what they was, y'all. He don't want to tell you what they
they were
was.
they were both bad on the scale, but I think one was like slightly better, so I went with
One
that.
was the lesser,
The
yeah.
lesser of the two. So yeah, it's all
He
about
thinking about the
making healthy
snack,
choices,
y'all.
healthy herb
Yeah.
choices.
Yeah, that's true. If you can make healthier choices, because we can't avoid it all with the dictatorship and the agriculture and
Right,
farming and what we get as far,
right,
even if you're vegan, plant-based, whatever kind of eater you are, just being more mindful. These are ways that you can practice that, you know what I'm saying? And it makes you just take a second step. Okay.
right. Yep.
Vibe of the week.
Five of the week.
Okay. That's what I'm
So,
talking about.
what about you?
Um,
What are you vibing on
Mine
lately?
is you know what? I've been really into feng shui.
Okay,
Um,
all right.
and I don't know
Educate.
the complete art of it,
Uh-huh.
but I know enough to know that the way you shift certain things in your home and the direction that they're facing can shift the energy and can lift the energy in your home. Now, I've read a few things on it. So, like, I'll have certain things facing east or west, but just moving into my new place that I'm in, I was like, let me feel out what feels good to me. Not even how it looks, but how it
Mm.
feels, how the space feels in my home. And I've really been enjoying it. So I said I was going to read more on it. But I've really been focusing on the shift of energy. And I was reading that a feng shui tip that was saying that if you just move 27 things around in your house or in your room, it can literally shift the whole energy of the room. Doesn't matter
Okay.
if it's big or small, just moving 27 things around. If you got 27 things, because I'm trying to think,
Yeah, that's a lot of items.
I got 20.
Okay.
Right. I'm like, damn, what y'all got, Barbies? But yeah, so but I was like, wow, but I'm guessing even if you don't have 27 items, just moving around,
Right.
if you know, if you only
Yeah.
got 27 items, moving like 7 of those items around, because the things that I moved around this week were very very small things, and I felt like, oh shit, I feel good with this like this. Now I
Yeah.
got space to do my activities.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's not just about that. It's really about how it supports your being, how you feel good when you step into your, your space. I think a lot of us, we focus on our being. You should focus on your being, and also focus on, the space that you create out of that is a reflection of you on the inside. So if everything's in turmoil and disorganized, and you got your shoes all in the middle of the floor, and maybe in the back of your head that picture's been a little bit crooked, and that shit's been getting on your nerves in the back of your head, but you won't fix it, just fix that shit. It's
Right.
gonna make you feel better, so that's my vibe of the week. Yeah.
Yeah. We gotta be conscious about that energy, and because that energy that's within our environment, it's going to be internalized, and then you take that shit out into the world. So
Yeah,
not only for yourself on an individual basis, but it's for the greater community.
yeah.
We create ripples that will eventually turn into waves. So you got to be mindful of what you're putting out.
Right. You gotta be like water,
Like water.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, yeah, I think that was a great episode. I'm glad that we were able to bring this information to our audience, and hopefully that they'll take that into the world and create ripples with it. Create ripples.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm creating ripples. I feel like I learned so much between you and LJ. You guys are so intelligent.
So are you.
And I thank you. And you guys are so knowledgeable on history. You're definitely gonna create ripples, because best believe I'm gonna post some of this shit in my stories. Like, did y'all know that Barbara Morrison? And did you know that when you invite people to the cookout, you got
let's make it happen.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we were able to have yet another, was our 22nd episode for our blacksmiths out there. Please keep tuning in. Please share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you again next week on The Bronze Room.
Peace.